It's amazing. We had a situation here in Canada, for example, with residential schools, which were basically taking native children out of their homes and putting them into institutions, which were often run by pedophiles and so forth on behalf of the government, working for the government. And so the children were often molested and also they were abused and mistreated. And yet you see the government with a high-handed attitude, you know, taking children out of their homes, off of the reserves. It was just a government program of re-educating these children. You know, we talk about Hitler, we talk about Nazis, we talk about World War II, we talk about the Holocaust and all these sort of things. But a big part of Hitler's education was the eugenics program that started in the United States, but nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that this guy got ideas from things that happened in other countries and figured, hey, if they got away with it, I could do it too. It was the same thing with this whole Holocaust thing. This was a follow-up of around the First World War, what happened in Turkey with the extermination of Armenians. Same sort of thing. The Armenians were thrown into lakes and bodies of water and so forth. This whole business with the Holocaust, I'm not any kind of a Holocaust denier, but I would say that there have been many similar type events around the world. We can talk about Cambodia, 3 million people lost. We can talk about the former Soviet Union. How many people disappeared in the gulags? Of course we don't hear about the gulags in the Soviet Union. The reason we don't hear about them is because the Soviets never lost a war. They may have lost an economic battle in terms of their economy, in terms of their ideology, but they didn't lose a war. So nobody was looking to try to present themselves as superior to them. It was the same thing with communist China. Mao Zedong and the Chinese, especially during the time of the Cultural Revolution, killed millions of people. I would bet dollars to donuts that the former Soviet Union and the communist government of China killed far more people than the Holocaust ever did. And then we go into situations like Rwanda, where there was a wholesale killing of people. The thing is, these things are not, the one difference I would say is they're not as organized as, say, this whole Holocaust thing was. But, you know, let's put it to you this way. I've often wondered if Hitler had been more efficient in what he did. Let's say, for example, he did something like they did in Cambodia, just killed people wholesale on the streets, or rounded them up and shot them. Probably nobody would be questioning this today. You know, it would have been there, gone. What happened to the Jews? Oh, well, a lot of them got killed in the war. Nobody would question. How many millions of people die in war and nobody asks any questions about it? Of course, at the end of the war, there was a bit of a cover-up. You know, and there's no justification for Germany launching the Second World War. But there is an argument to be made. There is an argument to be made that the Treaty of Versailles, which ended the First World War, was in fact the cause of the Second World War. You know, after the First World War, there was a Great Depression. People were desperate, and how, you know, that's the whole point I see that's missing the most about the Second World War, is the perspective that these guys were elected, the Nazis were elected. They were elected and they were supported by business interests. The same kind of business interests, by the way, that have never been called to answer for what they did. You know, their businesses, their corporations continue to go on, and nobody wants to pursue it because there's always this job situation that they're worried about. But, and it's the same thing that goes on today.